So, it's finally time. I'm sitting at my desk. It's around 11 p.m. on March 23rd, 2023. And in about an hour, we will all finally have access to the Resident Evil 4 remake. So you might ask yourself, why is this such a big deal? Major game titles release all the time. Why are you making a dramatic video about this one in particular? And that's a fair question. If you're one of the 5 people who see this video, thanks YouTube, by the way, you'll probably notice that this video is the very first one on my new channel. I've wanted to start a YouTube channel for a while, but all issues aside, the question of content was key. So I almost started this channel when Elden Ring released last year. I knew it was going to be something exciting. Well, after recording a small fraction of my playthrough, the stored video content had already reached around 500 gigs of storage, which is quite a heavy hit to even my 2 terabyte hard drive. So I realized that Elden Ring was going to be a massive endeavor. There was no way I was going to be able to process that much data in a timely manner. So I scrapped it, and I just enjoyed my first playthrough on my own, like I have with all the other Soulsborne games. My final runtime for my first playthrough of Elden Ring ended up being just over 200 hours, so I think it's safe to say that I made the right call there. But that left me wondering where to start, if ever, and I realized that if there was ever going to be a moment that I should try to capture, even if just for myself later, it was going to be this game, Resident Evil 4. I can firmly state that I don't think there has been a more influential Resident Evil title. The only game that comes close is the OG Resident Evil for redefining what survival horror is. Even then, it's very close. So if you're watching this video, then you're likely already aware of the massive footprint that RE4 has on the gaming community and game development in general. But I wanted to talk about what this game means to me and why this is something that I think is worth celebrating. I've purchased Resident Evil 4 more times than any other game I have ever owned. Second place is Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater, one of my all-time favorite games ever made, with it quickly seeing a re-release update with Metal Gear Solid Subsistence. But I've purchased Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater a total of 5 times. The PS2 version, Subsistence, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and the PS Vita versions. A game being enjoyable enough to purchase 5 separate times for replays is nothing to scoff at. You don't do that for every game. It's not possible for every game. So that being said, I've purchased Resident Evil 4 9 times, starting with its launch day on the Nintendo GameCube 18 years ago. Jesus Christ. I was 14 years old, and I vividly remember reading and rereading the Nintendo Power edition that was covering the upcoming game. I knew of Resident Evil, but nothing really about it. But I knew that I wanted to get into it. So for my birthday, I was able to finagle my grandparents to buy it for me. And from that point, I realized that it was all over. I was blown away by everything. The cinematics, the gameplay. I remember losing my shit, realizing you could target specific areas of the Ganados and cause realistic reactions. I had never seen anything like this before. The characters, Leon, Ashley, Luis Serra, Ada, the story, the gameplay. I digress. I put dozens, if not hundreds of hours into replaying the game, and I continued to do so with each subsequent release. Each release added some kind of amazing new content, and the re-releases were always spaced out enough that it was worth jumping back in to play them again when they did come out. So I've completed the story of Resident Evil 4 more times than I think any other game I've ever owned, and that's for good reason. Along the way, I became a pretty serious Resident Evil fan, and I played all of the mainline entries many times, with a few exceptions that I'm still looking to make time to play. Things like RE0 and Code Veronica, etc. So this is a series that I truly love, both its ups and its downs, even when the downs are pretty down. So I wanted to make this channel as a way to engage with the Resident Evil community as a whole, to meet some new people and make some content about this game series that I love so much. I don't know much about the Re4 Remake. When a game comes along that I know I will 100% be playing, I avoid everything. I avoid trailers and content about it like the plague. I am aware that the team who made the RE2 remake are the same ones who've created 4. And as far as I'm concerned, the Resident Evil 2 remake was as near a perfect example of what needs to be done when doing a project like this. I was concerned for a brief period in time, this was a while ago, that it was going to run into the same issues that plagued the Nemesis remake, but now that those concerns have been addressed, I am confident and excited about what's going to come. I am going into this remake completely blind to all of the changes that have been made. I don't know what anyone looks like. I don't know what any areas look like. I did not play the chainsaw demo. It's in my Steam library, but I've not touched it. It's not a stretch to say that Resident Evil 4 is one of, if not my true favorite game of all time. And this remake is giving me an opportunity to experience it again for the first time. This is a chance that doesn't come up very often, and so I wanted to make the absolute most of it. I'm going to record my first playthrough of this game from start to finish, and I'm going to be uploading 2 variations of it. One, a long, uncut version with everything included, and the other, a shorter, easier to digest variation of videos with just the highlight moments. So if you enjoy watching people play and experience games that you love, much like I love doing, I hope you check out and enjoy my playthrough. I also plan to give it a review once I'm plenty of hours into it, some comparisons to the old version of the game, but something like that isn't going to come from many, many, many hours, so don't expect anything like that for a while. We'll be doing the playthrough first. Either way, I think Capcom has really caught lightning in a bottle, and this remake might actually be able to stand shoulder to shoulder with the OG version. We know that the first game was something so incredibly rare that they have to live up to that with this remake. I've seen a few thumbnails pop up already, and it seems like everybody who played the Chainsaw demo has only good things to say about it, so things are looking good. As a Resident Evil fan, I think March 24th has the potential to be something truly special for all of us. So I hope you enjoy what's to come. And I'll see you at bingo night.